for Kieran, Gopal, and Mao, and Marie, and I wanted to preface with two things real quickly. This is not a PowerPoint. The first thing is that I am actually very awkward, which is not apparent, but I actually am. I think it's mostly because I moved here when I was 6, so I understood Chinese culture a lot when I was a little kid, and then I came here and I tried to understand American culture as soon as I could. That didn't really work out well, so I kind of half-half. So I'm sorry. That's in general, in life. If I'm awkward or cold, I'm actually just awkward. The other second thing is that this is a Prezi, which is not a PowerPoint, so there's no way for me to time myself, so I have been going with a 20-minute buzzer. I don't think Jorge can shout down from up there, so I'm just going to try to go as fast as I can. Okay? Alright. So, go! Okay, this is called Hakuna Matata. If you guys have watched Monkey King, that's the scene where they're eating bugs and stuff. That's just a preface. So, this is a big mountain, and hopefully at the top we're going to solve a couple of things about food. I'm going to try and divide you guys up into veggies and non-veggie people. So it will require a little bit of participation, but thank you guys for agreeing to participate. Okay, so the first question I have is good sustainable victuals, which is American for food. Can we solve world hunger? I hope so. At the top of the mountain, maybe we will, maybe we won't. Okay, so that's a burger. I did not ask. Which one of you would think that you guys are more meat eaters than vegetable eaters? You can raise your hand. You would eat meat, but you also eat veggies. That's a great burger that has pickles and tomatoes and a bunch of bacon and onions and just a bunch of random stuff on it. You probably won't taste every bite, but you know there's a bunch of random stuff on it that we're culturally, accustomed to. It's probably delicious. So people that didn't raise your hand, would you eat this burger? So that burger is chickpea, probably some quinoa in there, it's the same mushrooms, there's a little bit of, Dijon mustard. Raise your hand. I would eat both burgers. Both look really good. And there's some guac in them too. So it's both good burgers, but what about this burger?
Pass.
Yes. Raise your hand. Yeah, good. Okay, same burger, third Angus beef, all 100%. It's the same burger, but there's a couple of other stuff on it. If you close the burger, maybe you won't tell, maybe you would. But there's bugs and body parts on it. Maybe you won't be as accustomed to eating it. So one of the things that I wanted to ask, because that's such a tiny portion right on the top, is that this is actually scaled to the daily diet of an American. So 545 calories daily comes from meat, and 206 come from vegetables. And this is from 2010, thank you USDA. And that tiny, tiny box right there is my take on the 1 to 2 pounds of insect parts that you eat from packaged foods. So anything that is processed, a fly might drop in, something might happen. That's actually true. So you guys don't consent to it, but it's happening. So I'm going to start on the track. This is the vegetable track, and where best to find vegetarian than on Reddit. So this vegetarian Redditor asks, so I'm a vegetarian who eats insects, can you guys accept me? And a bunch of other reasons why vegetarian might be, you might eat insects as a vegetarian. So, obviously, would they accept them? Maybe. Okay, so this person says, it depends on where you draw the line. I think it's maybe wrong to eat insects because maybe not a mosquito. This person says, I don't eat insects, thank you, very polite. This person says not to be rude, but then something really rude. This person says, I don't eat anything that doesn't want me to eat it. I don't eat anything sentient. Pretty gross. This person says, insects have faces, so I won't eat them. This person says, you aren't a vegetarian. And then finally, we have someone that says, I'll try it. I think your points are very valid. So that's the minority on Reddit. So if that didn't convince you, probably didn't, let's start with the Venn diagram. So on one side, we want empirical proof. So on one side we have vegetarians, we'll add vegans on there too, and we'll say, okay, can insects enjoy this center part? So what is the other half of this Venn diagram? Well, we have little squirrels up there, we have a bunny, we have, a little vole, that's a vole. These are little mice, that's a deer, and wolves, and that's a mole, and that's an insect. So, can insects exist in this intersection between vegetarians and non-vegetarians? Vegetarians in the house, do you agree, disagree? Well, not really, right? So most vegetarians would say, okay, the broccoli over here with the halo, that would be what actually exists on that side of the Venn diagram. That makes sense, but actually what happens is, in a sense, you are asking about, well, do insects feel pain? Do they suffer when you kill them? Well, that's one of the things about pesticides. When you go ahead and treat for all the vegetables and the delicious things that you guys eat, even if it is organic, it will kill a lot of animals on the wayside. So all those animals I just listed, those are the most frequently killed animals by pesticides. So if you think about it, insects may or may not suffer. They do die pretty quickly if it is in a humane way. So it's a complicated issue. But I don't think hopefully I convinced some vegetarians. But let's go for the protein people. So this is a cow, and this is an insect. And somewhere in the way between, we'll say, okay, is one better than the other? So for that cow, it takes a lot of calories. So there's a lot of calories in that cow versus the grasshopper over here. But the protein is pretty comparable. So the protein is actually a lot of great stuff, a lot less fat, a lot more calcium. And one of the other things is that, you can think about a cricket. On your deli tray, there's a lot of different parts of it. They have the rump here, around the crunchy sirloin. So it's everything you love about steak, but just a little crunchier. Okay, did I convince you? Maybe, let me do this. So here's some infographics. There is a lot of different resource constraints. So the same bag of feed, the 10-pound bag of feed, will make 1 pound of beef, but 6 pounds of insect protein. That's mainly due to the fact that 40% of the cow is edible, 60% is, the other parts that you cannot eat. 80% of the cricket is edible. And over here, you can think about water, and that might be one of the most important resource constraints, is that fresh water goes into making these crickets and cows, and it just may be something that is a big indicator. And over here, you just have, energy, megajoules, which is really important for us. And if you guys thought about jumping on the bandwagon, there's already 2 billion people that have insects in their regular day life. It may just be, if you guys like peer pressure, that's for you. Okay, and here's one of the other problems about whether or not insects could be a thing, because there's a lot of stigma. It does take a lot less resources, but the economies of scale makes it so that it's pretty much impossible right now. And there is a good amount of food deserts here in America. In fact, in Cook County alone, I don't have a blown up picture, but this is a food tracker that you can go online and look at it. In Cook County alone, 1/5 of all residents are actually food insecure, about 35%, up to 35% food insecure. So what is the solution? Well, a lot of money. Well, we could go ahead and put money into these communities, but they wouldn't actually be able to sustain themselves for very long. We could go on a platform and try to educate. We can actually go into the education system and try and build new programs and teach them about grocery stores and how these eating healthier, more vegetables, different sources of protein variety would be helpful, but that would cost a lot of money too. So there aren't a lot of great ways to go about that. The other thing about insects is that this is a pound on Amazon of, 5 pounds of flour. It costs $3.49. And this is 5 pounds, this is 1/5 pound of cricket flour, and that costs $8.65. So if you multiply that by 23, then that's almost $200. So right now it's seemingly almost impossible to try and scale up the cricket flour into the regular flour. Okay, so I'm not doing a good job of convincing you, but how about this beautiful table of cricket flour, cupcakes, chocolate covered grasshoppers, all these different things that big families could bring to their kitchen table. A couple of people have already thought about ways to grow your own bug hotels. So you can catch your own bugs, put them in. A lot of people have said, this is actually feasible, this is viable, but there's still a lot of stigma, there's still a lot of, lack of education, so it may just not be possible. Okay, so that was one side of the mountain. We didn't really get all the way to the top right there with our spaceship. So what if we try going up the other side of the mountain from here? So let's look at what the other side of the mountain is. So, okay, I forgot to ask you. So do you guys know what astronauts eat?
Astronaut food.
Astronaut food. So here's astronaut food. This is astronaut ice cream, and they come in many flavors. And they also come in freeze-dried food. Okay, I'm not actually being serious. This is astronaut food. They come in freeze-dried bags. They are floating in the air, and when astronauts aren't playing with a lot of different foods, they have a lot of questions about food, which means they need to have a good amount of variety. They need to have food that doesn't break off into the small sensitive particles on their ship. So what do they have what can they bring onto their ships? Oh, sorry. Okay, so you guys know this movie?
Yeah.
So Matt Damon proved that his poop potatoes, could actually feed himself for a really long time. And that's actually not too crazy, not too far from the truth. Here's what NASA thinks that a farm could look like. And on this side, this is it's an actual built farm, not on Mars, but in a Marsy location on Earth. But this is the stuff that could actually happen. So this is what people think of Mars when you think about how do we get food to stay on Mars and grow on Mars. Do you guys know what this is? It's a water bear. This is a tardigrade. This is a very, very small bug. Not really a bug, but it's a microscopic organism. It can survive anywhere, especially in space. And here are some other bugs that survive in space. So we're already trying to see what kind of organisms can survive best in space. It seems like bugs are doing a really good job. Some spiders, some fruit flies, and it seems like they're not doing too bad. Okay, back to methane. So the biggest question is, if people don't have enough food variety, then they won't eat enough to thrive. They'll only eat enough to survive. So it could be answered to a question of what can we bring to Mars? Well, a cricket lifespan is about a week, and it takes about 7 years to get to Mars. So if we really think about can we bring an insect colony to Mars and feed on them, it would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but then eventually you'll have his ancestors chill out with Matt Damon, and then maybe some other guys too. So this is foreseeably a possibility if we wanted to grow something other than just potatoes on the ground. And then finally, the very important thing about resource constraint is that this is a NASA picture taken on Mars, and that could be a lot of water, but it could be a very small amount of water. It really depends on this infographic. So if we do want food variety, if we do want that protein to stay with us on Mars and be sustainable, then we really have to think about either this old Bessie here or the cricket up here. And that's the top of the mountain. I want to be. They're really expensive. So right now we're trying to find, there's a lot of different companies that have invested money in bars, like protein bars, and like bugs as an alternative source of protein. And hopefully, eventually we'll get some funding to either start our own farms here in Chicago, or bring a flour here to Chicago so that we can create different noodles and cupcakes for residents to try.
A lot of questions.
Yeah.
Okay. 1. How many bugs do you eat a day if you practice what you preach? 2. Have you ever tried a scorpion? 3. How did we get from Earth to Mars, real quick?
Okay. First question. I don't eat enough bugs. I eat a lot of bugs when I go to China. I have tried a scorpion. It doesn't taste great.
All right.
So that is one of the things that I've grown up with. It is a stigma that I've grown up with, and the cultural difference. The last question is, how do we get to Earth from Mars? Well, the prospect of eating bugs is an idea that NASA has thrown around, but it's not their main priority. In fact, if you wanted to get protein onto Mars, you just carry it in powder form. But the question is about sustainability. So the same sustainability problems that we can face down here on Earth could be thought of on the surface of somewhere with a lot less water, a lot less resources.
I loved your presentation, but I have like a really big concern.
Okay.
Where do you get all these insects to feed like people? Because insects like play a really important role on Earth, and if you just take them from like the ecosystems, then like a really bad thing could happen. And so I was wondering like what's the impact there? Like, I don't know, like how did you grow insects? Like I don't know, like many Mexicans here like agree that crickets are just the best, and but I don't know. My concern is where did you get them?
So the insects, the question about where do you get the insects to feed an entire population, right?
Yeah.
Is that on Mars or here on Earth?
Here on Earth.
Here on Earth. Okay, so the fascinating thing about insects, and especially about crickets, is that they reproduce very, very fast. And that's one of the evolutionary things about that if you get a good amount of of a starting base, a diverse population, and they'll actually reproduce very, very rapidly. So hopefully we don't have to take too many from their ecosystem in order to grow them. Like I said, they really only have a 1 week lifespan. So if you do take roughly a couple of weeks, that will multiply. But the real answer is I don't know. So hopefully we do more research.
I think you mentioned in one slide that there's 80% of a cricket that you can eat and 20% that you can't. As a novice to cricket eating, what's the 20% I should be eating?
I do not know. Maybe you can eat the whole thing, but apparently that chart says differently. So I'm assuming that there's going to be a good amount of organs, or maybe, you know, like pointy parts, carapace, you know, these things that aren't as good. I'm assuming that when you turn it into protein powder, cricket flour, it's a different practice entirely. And I'm assuming that's where the 80% is coming from.
Crickets, actually, you can eat them whole.
Yeah.
I might have missed it, but where can you eat crickets here?
So you can't eat crickets here. You can't, unless the answer is...
Yeah, exo bars. They're actually totally fine.
Yes, okay, that's the company I was talking about. So EXO was a larger company that bought a smaller startup called Bitty, and they said, okay, we like your bug startup, and we're going to make it into bars, which is like protein bars. So EXO bars is made out of the cricket flour that was originally produced smaller scale, and it's an alternate source of protein for people who want to try something different.
One more question. Anyone else? No? What's your favorite type of bug to eat?
My favorite type of bug, I prefer cricket because this is the one I've eaten the most. Because it's actually pretty tasty. It's like nutty. It's if you have had like bacon that's a little bit old. like oh, I don't remember when I fried bacon, or if I had fried bacon, but if I had, that's what it tastes like. Thank you guys.
So point number one, anyone who presented tonight, can you stand up and we can say thank you? The courage and the sort of, for lack of a more professional word, balls that it takes to get up here and talk about sometimes very personal things is really cool, because it creates this environment where people feel like maybe privately or publicly they can share things that they feel more vulnerable about. So thank you for starting that conversation. Number two, anyone who helped organize this, can you stand up? Yeah! One more of these. So if this has inspired you to sort of share any sort of interesting story that you would like to share with your classmates and your peers, please do not hesitate and do it. All right, so we have this place until about 10. So hang out, the bar's open again.